Eiji Hoshimiya, a useless boy who is disliked by his classmates because he looks like yourself, was chosen to be granted a wish when he was young. However, instead of making an ordinary peaceful wish, his idiotic self wished for the destruction of the world, or so he thinks. You see, after Eiji made his wish, his memory was erased from his useless mind, probably because his parents dropped him on his head, like my father. Now, as the world teeters on the brink of collapse, he refuses to use his gifted power to cause further harm. However, his past actions have already resulted in countless deaths, and now that his identity has come to light, he becomes the target of relentless pursuit, with danger lurking around every corner. When lost in the fantasy of every wish coming true, our man is deep in thought. But then, the useless girl Daisy, the class philosopher. According to her, wishes thrive on a cocktail of jealousy, obsession, and fear, the spice of life. As the classroom chills, Daisy turns her wisdom on Eiji Hoshimiya, demanding to know his top-tier wish. Just when the suspense is getting around to Sina Hoshimiya, the sis tells his useless ass to wake up, as Eiji's wish remains a mystery, hidden in the chaos of sibling interruptions. As the disgusting teacher discussing the destruction in the United Nations Transitional Authority Kyushu area. Turns out, orders with the power to convert wishes into swaggy powers were responsible for the chaos. There are about 2,000 orders worldwide, and according to the teacher, one of them caused the destruction in Amakusa City. Eiji, feeling salty, abruptly leaves the class, and outside, the shocking truth unfolds. The destruction was actually caused by Eiji's own dumb wish. As Eiji explains his BS backstory about how he is also an order, like his teacher was talking about. Later, Eiji goes back to his house where he comes across Daisy once again, who reveals to Eiji that the things that he remembers about what he wishes is not exactly what he thinks it is, and upon Eiji asking her as to what he wishes for if not the world destruction, Daisy replies that she is waiting for the day when Eiji will use his powers once again and soon goes to get the milk, leaving Eiji contemplating and confused as to what exactly he wished for 10 years ago. After a while, Eiji gets woken up once again by his sister, Sina, after being dozed off earlier, and thereafter as soon as Eiji turns on the TV, they come across the news where a woman uses her power in order to cause an accident. Sina then asks Eiji as to what he would wish for if he was an order, and Eiji comments that he wishes for her to get better as soon as possible. In the classroom's groovy atmosphere, the teacher introduces Kurenai Rin, a newcomer who instantly catches Eiji's disgusting eyes. Back home, Rin reveals she's the new neighbor on the first floor, hitting his useless self up for a locksmith, spinning a tale of lost keys. Being the cool guy he is, Eiji jumps in to help, thinking it's just a neighborly gesture. But hold on to your hats, folks, because out of the blue, Rin whips out a stunning surprise move. She pulls out a taser and zaps Eiji into dreamland. Turns out, the locksmith request was just her electrifying way of saying, "Sweet dreams, my useless neighbor." When Eiji comes to, Rin reveals that she's not just cute, she's an assassin on a mission to eliminate his useless ass. She mentions her parents got full boxed and flopped in the destruction caused by Eiji a decade ago. The tension escalates as Rin thrusts a sword into Eiji's hand, gearing up for the final blow. In a savage twist, Eiji turns the tables. With a swift move, he redirects the sword, and it pierces Rin's abdomen instead. The once vulnerable target becomes an unexpected force, leaving Rin in shock. I mean, I don't know what you expected, considering that you wished for this. After a while, Lieutenant Fran gets introduced as his subordinate mentions that they are about to reach Amakusa City, shifting to a meeting room, where the news arrives that Rin has failed to carry out the assassination. However, the mission gets decided to be continued. Meanwhile, Eiji arrives at a place where she sees Sina on a wheelchair, who then gets abducted by Rin, who is very much alive, and asks for Eiji to come to the old building if he wants his sister to live. Soon, Eiji passes out after eliminating the two soldiers surrounding him and wakes up with Daisy in front, who then limits Eiji's power so that he won't go out of control again. LG casually strolls over and unveils his grand plan like a magician, revealing the secret behind a card trick. Because nothing says I'm in control quite like announcing it to everyone within earshot. In a flashback, Rin's sitting by the blazing fire that messed up her parents' lives, wondering what would go down if her wish actually came true. Fast forward to the now, tied up and all, Rin's mulling over what chaos might ensue if everyone scored powers from their wishes. But then, out of the blue, Eiji drops a wish bomb. He locks Rin into his turf and throws in some no-harm vibes for him and Sina. Once Eiji's wish kicks in, Rin's mad as heck. She swings her sword, aiming to give Eiji a piece of her mind. But the thing stops on its own. Bummed out, Rin's tearing up, feeling like life's got zero purpose. Eiji steps in, reassuring her that someone out there will dig her, and out of left field, he throws in a bombshell, saying he's gonna marry her. Soon, a ring materializes around Rin's finger, and thereafter, she latches onto Eiji, expressing her hope that he will take care of her. Lieutenant Fran arrives shortly afterward, knocking Eiji unconscious. As Eiji regains consciousness in a facility, Rin stands before him, releasing him from his cell. When Eiji questions her about why she is helping, Rin deflects the conversation, suggesting they focus on escaping the situation. In the corridor, Rin discovers a broken knife, repairs it, and attempts to attack Eiji. However, her attempt is thwarted, and she reminds Eiji that she will eventually eliminate him, even though she acknowledges the impossibility of it. Lieutenant Fran steps into the spotlight, unveiling a superpower that puts Doctor Strange to shame, the ability to control time. But here's the kicker, it's not for fame or world domination, it's all about protecting someone special. Fran's playing with time like it's her own personal game of Sims, all in the name of love. Meanwhile, as Rin and Eiji attempt to escape the facility, Rin repeatedly tries to eliminate Eiji, each attempt ending in her own death. However, she consistently resurrects using rebirth fire. Upon reaching a standstill, Eiji implores Rin to cease her attempts on his life. In response, Rin adamantly refuses to accept defeat, emphasizing that she will not lose. Furthermore, Rin informs Eiji that, since his decree is for her to marry him, she will never genuinely fall in love with him. The timeless romance of forced marriage and unrequited love. Because nothing says happily ever after like a marriage built on threats and a declaration of eternal emotional unavailability. Later, as they are standing in front of two ways, Rin reveals that one of them leads to the center and Eiji immediately starts heading that way. However, Rin stops him and warns him that he will die if he goes to the center. However, Eiji mentions to her that he doesn't care if he dies if he can protect Sina. Eiji furthermore reveals that 10 years ago, his divorced father married another divorced woman who had a daughter, Sina, and although he didn't care about her back then, but then his wish ruined everything for him and Sina, and since then he has decided to hide from Sina about his true identity until she passes away in 6 months as she has a blood disease. I knew it, their entire family bloodline has been useless from the very beginning. Soon, some soldiers arrive and Rin immediately wishes for nothing to come in his way to save Sina and the useless soldiers. Rin, being the wonderful person she is, decides to help him rescue Sina. As they arrive, Rin throws 3 grenades towards Fran as he can only control 3 things at a time with his power. However, Fran oversmarts them with his experience. Shortly after, the Dazifu city government officers group of 10 arrives, putting an end to the escalating conflict. Each member introduces themselves, Fuwaredu as the first hand, Narukami Benkei as the second hand, Hiragi Yashitsune as the third hand, Io as the fourth hand, Nahara Teike as the fifth hand, Lauren Wright as the sixth hand, Samoku Kokudo as the seventh hand, Minamoto Nin as the eighth hand, Kanumeri as the ninth hand, and Sundan Ayahido as the 10th hand. Yashitsune, ever the cunning character, takes a step forward, inviting Eiji to join their exclusive club and play puppet for their grand plans. But hold the strings. Eiji, in a power move that would make Jenny's rethink granting wishes, decides to cash in on his ultimate desire. Suddenly, he's the puppet master, pulling the strings on the entire crew. Talk about turning the tables. In breaking news, Kyushu declares war on the world, causing widespread astonishment. However, the greater surprise comes with the revelation that 10 years prior, the devastation was attributed to Eiji, revealing Rin shivering in extreme cold, held captive by the government with only undergarments. Furious about her captivity and her initial intention to eliminate Eiji, Rin is confronted by a woman guard who provides clothes and instructs her to step out of the cell. Meanwhile, Eiji enters a meeting room and declares his decision to take control rather than being controlled. Mary then briefs the others on their plan to occupy Yagamachi, emphasizing Eiji's key role. While Eiji appears to resist the plan, Mary asserts her professionalism, labeling him a mere puppet. In a moment of introspection, Eiji reflects on the intricate power dynamics surrounding him, pondering the true puppeteer in the BS narrative. As he grapples with these uncertainties, Io steps forward, offering him a gun and assuring him with a divination that everything will be alright. Soon, the broadcast begins and the Prime Minister asks Mary if they are consciously working for Eiji under his domination, and Mary confirms this. The Prime Minister then shows the 10 family members who have been held captive for conspiring to commit treason, and soon, a man assures the child captive to not worry and mentions that his nephew will help them out. He then proceeds to cut the head off of the captive beside the child captive, leaving Eiji shocked. There, Benkei reveals that the man is his uncle. They then proceed to cap another captive's head, leading Eiji to question the Prime Minister if what he's doing is right. However, the Prime Minister comments to Eiji that this is how crazy he has gotten the world after he caused the destruction 10 years ago. The Prime Minister then threatens to eliminate the hostage when suddenly Eiji pulls his toy out and eliminates each one of the 10 government members. Soon, Rin arrives there too and attempts to eliminate Eiji, however he blits her in the head as well, leaving the Prime Minister in absolute shock as to how easily Eiji eliminated them. Eiji then officially declares the war and ends the broadcast. Actually, Eiji uses his power to stop the bullet from hitting them, but not Rin as she is still in pain. Eiji smells a rat in Yashitsune's plan. Next stop, a thrilling road trip with Rin, Eiji, and their trusty band of soldiers to Kyushu's entrance, the Kanman Tunnel. because who needs a GPS when you have suspicions and a crew armed with questions? Soon, they enter the tunnel, but after a sudden disturbance, the soldier flees the area, and Eiji mentions to Rin that they will carry on forward when suddenly Io arrives and takes them out of the tunnel. Upon reaching out, Io reveals that UNIGM's mission is to not fight but rather secure the target. When asked as to what she meant by the target, Io starts leaving. However, Eiji chases her. Eiji's attempt to seize Io's head ribbon turned into a cosmic catastrophe when she deftly dodged him, cautioning that contact would induce an unexpected pregnancy and deactivate her powers. Rin barged in with a melodramatic warning about the rock god's imminent presence, prompting Eiji and Io to vanish into hiding like startled rabbits. In a clumsy twist of fate, Eiji, aiming for heroics, accidentally snatched Io's ribbon while preventing her fall, triggering an instant pregnancy. Rin, nursing a vendetta for being ignored, spilled the beans on Eiji's location to the rock god. Amidst the chaos, Rin played superhero, rescuing a falling child, only to cross paths with Terra no Kagekyo, Yagamachi's ruler, in an oddly familiar encounter. Meanwhile, Eiji, playing the role of a curious wallflower, witnessed the unfolding drama. To add to the madness, Io dropped the bombshell that she was on the brink of giving birth. Parenthood, rock gods, and accidental heroism, it's a sitcom waiting to happen. Eiji, engulfed in tension over Io's abrupt pregnancy, frantically attempted to contact headquarters, but his efforts proved futile. Meanwhile, Kagekyo, scheming for a common cause with Rin, disclosed their shared intent to eliminate Eiji. The revelation that Yagamachi faced an assault aimed at terminating Eiji heightened the urgency for them to act. Eiji, feeling the weight of responsibility, hastily hoisted Io, desperately searching for a safe haven for her to give birth. Fortuitously, Eiji stumbled upon a group of women who generously assisted in transporting Io to a makeshift care facility. In a quaint house, two kind-hearted elderly women delivered some nourishment, and Eiji expressed gratitude before they departed. As he pondered the gravity of impending parenthood, Eiji acknowledged the need to step up and take responsibility in this unexpected situation. Soon, the impending doom of a nuclear missile, the perfect backdrop for Eiji to channel his inner action hero. Because when faced with imminent annihilation, nothing says "I've got this" like speaking at a volume that ensures even the missile knows he's thinking of a plan. Take that, impending disaster. Eiji's brainstorming session is underway. Despite the turbulent circumstances, Eiji recognizes that he cannot place his trust in anyone for assistance. Meanwhile, Kagekyo strolls through the area with Rin by her side, contemplating the success of her intel and acknowledging the ease with which she can deceive Rin. Unbeknownst to Rin, Kagekyo's true plan is to gather more information about Eiji. Eventually, Rin interrupts Kagekyo, stating that it's sufficient. Asserting her claim on Eiji and declaring him solely hers to eliminate, Rin makes it clear that anyone hindering her path is considered an enemy. In a strategic move, Eiji contacts Rin, confirming her proximity to the Order of the Rock God, and instructs her to defeat it. Taking action, Rin prepares to strike Kagekyo with her sword. However, Kagekyo begins to petrify Rin, revealing that she has successfully located Eiji's whereabouts. As missiles are launched, Yoshitsune urges Mary to order a retreat for soldiers within a 10 km radius. Meanwhile, Aikido arrives at Rin's location. Simultaneously, Kagekyo heads to the hospital where Eiji, Io, and Rock God are situated, exposing Eiji as the culprit behind the destruction a decade ago. The revelation turns the public against him, and a nurse, fueled by the newfound animosity, stabs Eiji from behind. In shock, Eiji contemplates the extent of the hatred directed towards him. Kagekyo contacts Aikido, expressing gratitude for disclosing Eiji's location, and Rin uncovers Aikido as the source of the leaked information all along. Eiji, in a move bolder than a rooster's morning crow, takes center stage. He asserts dominance over everyone in the room, even the rock god. Eiji's got a new gig, commanding the ultimate band of heroes to stop a missile. The rock god manages to catch the missile, but it slips from its grasp. Benkei and Lauren arrive, with Benkei effortlessly destroying the missile, leaving Eiji astonished. Simultaneously, during a broadcast with Yoshitsune, the president discovers that the group of 10 is still alive. In response, he reveals to Yoshitsune that, after Eiji, they will be the next targets. A second missile is launched, causing a momentary rift between Kagekyo and Eiji. However, she soon realizes that, in her quest for revenge, she has overlooked Eiji's efforts to save people. Aikido aids Rin in reaching Eiji, where she uses her rebirth power to regenerate the rock god, allowing it to catch the missile in mid-air. Benkei assists in destroying the missile. Later, Yoshitsune discloses to the president that Aikido is a double spy and reveals that they have secured their main target, Tarutama Hikari, the girl whom Rin had saved earlier, possessing the power to neutralize nuclear missiles. Daisy's jaw practically hits the floor witnessing Eiji's superhero-level willpower. She's mentally crafting him a resilience guru cape. But then, out of nowhere, a dude waltzes in, raining on the parade, suggesting that leaving Eiji with Yoshitsune might be as wise as letting a cat organize a mouse party. Cut to the ladies, living their best life in a hot spring oasis, contemplating the universe one bubble at a time. Rin, staring at her ring of domination over Eiji, goes full evil genius mode, plotting world domination or maybe just a really epic prank. Cue Keiichiro, the drama enthusiast, sliding in with an offer to team up and, get rid of Eiji. Rin, quick on the draw, shuts that down, leaving Keiichiro with a rejected villain face. Keiichiro queries Mary about how she brought Hikari from Hiroshima, and Mary discloses her status as an order with the ability to control the dream world, asserting control over Hikari. Keiichiro then approaches Iyo, attempting to touch her, but Iyo screams, stating that only Eiji can touch her. Lauren arrives, informing Eiji that Sina has regained consciousness and revealing that Fran has been ordered to withdraw his time-stopping effect from Sina. As they reach Sina, Eiji encounters Yoshitsune, questioning his motives. Yoshitsune explains that due to Sina's condition, she doesn't remember the attack by Fran, and he discloses that Sina's atypical leukemia is advanced, leaving her with only 6 months to live. Eiji leans in, assuring Sina that they will find a cure and urging her not to worry. Sina, aware of Eiji's silent concern, forgives him, acknowledging him as her elder brother, and they share a heartfelt hug, deepening the emotional bonds in this intricate tale. Thereupon, Yoshitsune reveals that there is one way Sina's illness could be cured, and moreover, he reveals that there is a doctor in Izumo known as Kamimutsubai, who possesses the power to fix all illnesses, no matter what. Eiji then decides to go to Izumo to cure Sina and asks Lauren to come with him. Thereafter, Yoshitsune receives a report confirming that Sina and Eiji are not real siblings. Later, Eiji asks a man where Sina is, and he conveys that she left with Lieutenant Kanu. Eiji then arrives at Sina and grabs her using his powers. However, Yoshitsune grabs Sina back as he is experimenting to see if she is suitable to become an order and orders Eiji to steal Japan. Eiji proceeds to do that, and Iyo hits up Yoshitsune like the ultimate gossip queen, whispering that she senses a power player in their midst who might just outshine Eiji. It's the classic who's the real boss showdown, and Iyo's the one stirring the pot. Shortly after, as Rin is getting a beef pita, a man arrives and removes Eiji's control over her, taking Rin under his domination. Later, the man arrives where Eiji is and introduces himself as Hattori Hanzu from UNIGM Public Safety Division 6. Moreover, he reveals that he is collecting information about the missing Kamimutsubai. Soon, Rin arrives there and cuts off Eiji's hand when suddenly Benkei and Lauren arrive to distract Rin. Yoshitsune prepares to leave for Hiroshima and asks for Ayahido as well. Meanwhile, Eiji manages to knock Hattori out using a stone. But soon it is revealed that he is just an avatar when suddenly a black void appears and tries to lure Eiji inside. Soon, Yoshitsune arrives and removes all the illusions, attacking Hattori. Rin and Hattori then flee the area. Eiji then questions Yoshitsune about the man, and soon Daisy arrives and reveals to Eiji that he was his father, Hoshimiya Genai. Kudos to Eiji for keeping up with the ever-escalating theatrics of his own life. I mean, who wouldn't want their family reunions to involve stone wielding and void dodging? It's the stuff family legends are made of. Daisy, with the enthusiasm of a live news anchor, spills the beans to Eiji that Hattori and Rin are en route to Izumo. She hands the decision baton to Eiji like it's the grand finale of a reality show, making it clear that it's his call now. In a surprising twist, Hiragi, the decision-maker extraordinaire, green-lights Eiji to tag along with Iyo to Izumo, probably because keeping tabs on him sounds like a full-time job. Cut to the pair on the back of an open truck, wind in their hair, and Iyo more excited than a kid in a candy store. She's thinking her prophecy is unfolding. She's found the chosen one who can finally touch her. However, as she starts to spill her inner musings, Eiji, with the cool nonchalance of a cucumber, assures her he's already on the same page. Because who needs long, dramatic monologues when you've got that telepathic connection going, right? Furthermore, Eiji mentions to Iyo that he will never touch her again and reveals that he has been thinking about Rin all this time, worried about what she is doing. Soon, the once excited expression on Iyo changes into disappointment in no time. After a while, they make their way to the entrance of Yomi where Izanami met the dead Izanagi. Soon, they make their way in, and unexpectedly, the cave rocks start falling off. Eiji immediately picks up Iyo and starts sliding forward. Eiji then immediately asks Iyo to perform her divination, and although the prophecy tells Iyo to move forward, she realizes that if she follows the prophecy, she won't be able to end up with Eiji. So, she tells him to go right. However, soon the rock on which they take a breather falls, and Iyo gets saved by Eiji as she was drowning. After a while, they hang their clothes to get them dry, and meanwhile, they converse with each other. Eiji mentions Rin in mid-conversation, which leads to Iyo raging up as she opens herself to Eiji. and expresses that she loves him. Soon, Shirabayashi Kuroko, the priestess of Izumo, arrives and welcomes the two to Kameakari. Eiji throws the offer on the table, suggesting Kuroko join the cause, but she swiftly dodges that bullet, opting for a game instead. It's not your average game night, though. Kuroko challenges Eiji to catch the ball, and only then will she agree to assist in curing Sina. Game on. Eiji, now in full strategist mode with Io as his trusty sidekick, faces off against Kuroko. After a series of acrobatics and near misses, they somehow outsmart Kuroko and snatch the elusive ball. Victory dance. Maybe, but hold on to your capes. Enter Matsudera Fumai, the water-controlling ruler of Izumo, making a splashy entrance. Eiji, summoning his inner airbender, erects a makeshift protection circle. However, it's like trying to hold an umbrella in a hurricane, not sustainable. Eiji and Io combine powers, tag-teaming Fumai and turning the tide in their favor. Fumai, tied to the ground like a tree in a storm, summons Daisy, unveiling her as an intel management whiz designed to spill secrets about orders. Daisy spills the tea, revealing Hattori and Rin's location and two more henchmen. Hattori, being the party pooper he is, orders Jubei to deal with them. A sword strikes from the other side, and Kam Musubai meets an untimely end. Drama, games, and surprise reveals, just another day in the life of Eiji and crew. Hiragi appreciates Eiji's work and then asks him to withdraw from the Dazefu government. However, Eiji immediately asks Hiragi what will happen to Sina's illness, and soon Hiragi once again asks Eiji to leave. Upon insisting more, Aihido arrives from behind and assures Eiji that if Genai causes another world destruction, then there would be no use worrying about Sina's illness. 11 years ago in Hoshimiya Energy Research and Development Lab, Hiragi seems to be taking care of a plant, however, it is not showing great progress. Soon, the senior scientist, Genai, arrives and mentions to Hiragi that he wants to show him something with his mini VECON coil, which is a volition energy converter coil whose purpose is to convert people's will into energy. Later, Genai shows Hiragi the human on whom he has experimented, and it works great as well. Now Hiragi, having the hold of Eiji's collar as he mentions to him that after that day, Genai's personality changed, and he became greedier as the research kept getting advanced. Later, Genai even gives birth to the system that will manifest and manage people's desires and names it as Daisy, Desire Accessible Information System. Meanwhile, in the present, Eiji is absolutely shocked to hear that his father, Genai, actually created Daisy, and soon she started granting wishes. That's when Eiji destroyed the world. Now, Genai is planning to cause a great destruction, and that is why Hiragi reveals to Eiji that they need to keep him as far away from Genai as they can. On the other hand, Hattori informs Rin that they are throwing a party at the Dazefu office in honor of Sina's discharge. Later, Hattori orders Momotaru to commence the mission to take Sina, and Momotaru is quick to obey his commands, having prepared himself to complete the mission while already being on the mission site. Meanwhile, Hiragi immediately sends guards to the secret guard as he is aware that Hattori is after Sina. As Momotaru gears up for his infiltration mission, he unexpectedly bumps into Mary. Hattori, ever the info dispenser, spills the beans that Mary can control light. It's like a superhero showdown in the making. On one front, Hiragi plays the puppet master, orchestrating his team's moves like a chess grandmaster. Meanwhile, Hattori takes the reins on the other end, guiding Momotaru through the shadows. The tension builds, and for now, Momotaru seems to be holding the upper hand. In a sudden twist, Hiragi, sensing something fishy, decides to tag Eiji into the command center. Apparently, their top secret plans are leaking faster than a sieve, and it's time for Eiji to work his leadership magic. Meanwhile, Fran has Sina with him as he departs from the secret garden and takes her to Hattori. Meanwhile, Hiragi asks Eiji not to act impulsively. However, Eiji breaks the unbinding from the tent and proceeds to leave the meeting room. Meanwhile, Fran has been outplayed by Hattori as he is trying to save his life when soon Sina arrives and approaches Fran. There, Sina reveals something huge, mentioning that, unlike Fran, she doesn't wish for anything but is rather seizing, and moreover, she is now under the dominance of Hattori as well. Moreover, Sina asks Fran to be her knight, and meanwhile, Rin is surprised to see these events unfold. Fran reveals to Sina that Genai is planning to cause the Great Destruction once more. Moreover, in order for him to help Sina see Genai safely, Fran agrees to become her knight but asks for a reward in return. Later, Mary informs Hiragi that the 5 spiritual locations of Ibuki, Aiz, Kumano, Marois, and Awaji, the priestesses at Aiz and Kumano, have mysteriously perished. All these 5 spiritual locations are connected via ley lines, and the positioning of these ley lines forms a reverse pentagram. This pentagram forms a natural, giant VECON coil. Meanwhile, in UNIGM Osaka District, Osaka City, Hattori mentions to Sina and the group that they will alter the footage and air it to show that the Great Destruction was caused by Hoshimiya Eiji. Moreover, he mentions that they will be meeting the vice director. However, Sina and the group have no intentions of letting this happen as they begin to devise a plan. Later, Sina decides to make use of the smartphone that the front desk gave her to try and help Eiji. Later on, as Rin and Sina are having the time of their lives while eating delicious and expensive food from the hotel, Sina decides to ask Rin some questions. The first thing Sina asks Rin is if she is aware that the Great Destruction was caused by Genai instead of Eiji. Moreover, Sina asks Rin to tell her everything that she knows. The meeting day arrives and Sina has sent the recorded answers to the press as the meeting is now being held in a public place, and soon Genai shows himself there to Sina and asks her if she is aware as to why he is holding the meeting in Osaka Castle. There, Genai responds by himself and mentions to Sina that her family lives nearby and so their family often visited there. Soon, Sina reveals in front of the press that the real culprit behind the Great Destruction is Genai, and not Eiji. Hiragi believes that they are at a disadvantage now since Eiji will definitely go to Sina now. Hiragi then commands Benkei to head to Madois and protect the priestess. Soon, Genai brainwashes Sina into saying stuff against Eiji and then the entire world once again turns against him. Meanwhile, Eiji and Aihido baits Juyube and sneaks into Osaka Castle. Hattori then informs Genai that Eiji has arrived. Eiji then confronts Genai as he is taking Sina away, but Juyube cuts his limbs off. While leaving, Juyube asks for permission for a duel which ends up in a draw. However, Eiji manages to pierce through Juyube's sword strike using his willpower. Before leaving, Genai then asks Eiji to follow him if he wants to see Sina's happiness. Eiji wakes up to Io informing him that the group of 10 will be attacking Genai very soon and the goal will be to take Sina back. Io then proceeds to get on top of Eiji while mentioning to him about giving birth to a baby together. Later, Aihido mentions to Hiragi that the priestesses of Madois and Mount Ibuki has been saved and soon Hiragi mentions that it is time. In the news, Eiji gets framed once more for the collapse of Osaka Castle and even UNIGM's Prime Minister declares Eiji as the ringleader in this destruction. Later, in Genai's experimental facility, Hiragi has gathered his team to devise his attack at Genai, and he seems to come in full preparation. Mary soon mentions to Hiragi that before they attack, they should confirm the location of Eiji, who is the key to the Great Destruction. However, Hiragi mentions that their goal is only to confront Genai at all costs. Mary realizes that Hiragi is being too emotional and moreover she believes that Hiragi is excited to see Genai after all these years. Meanwhile, Eiji stops Io as she was about to make love with him. Io then mentions to Io that Sina is the only thing that he has left and moreover mentions that he cannot abandon her no matter what. Soon, their topic diverts and changes when Io asks Eiji as to why he doesn't think that Genai is his real father and soon reveals that Genai is actually his father and moreover reveals that she is one of the experiments of Genai. Soon, Daisy arrives and confirms to Eiji that what he has remembered thus far is completely far from reality and moreover reveals that Sina will be the actual cause of great destruction. Mary then makes her way inside of the facility and there she encounters an enemy order who happens to control the floors, rendering Mary unable to sense whether she is moving forwards or backwards. Later, Sina confronts Rin and asks her as to what her real intentions towards Eiji are, and soon Hattori arrives to take Sina away. However, while leaving, Sina warns Rin that she will neither let her eliminate Eiji nor take him as he only belongs to her. On the other hand, Genai shows Rin the gate and reveals that he actually rushes his research in order to save her illness. Then soon, a voice reaches to Genai revealing the gate theory, which is a revelation that the physical world only exists because their hearts and physical bodies are here and moreover in this world. Physical properties take priority over minds, but the mind exists on a different plane, a mental world where physical properties are created as the mind desires, where mind takes priority over physical properties. Meanwhile, Rin breaks away from her shackles. Genai then mentions to Sina that she was the first one to gain power from this system, but when she did, the gate broke and opened a mental world and Sina made contact with her and she is the only one that can once again make contact with the mental world. Soon, Eiji makes his way to Genai where he reveals that Sina has agreed to take part in his experiment. Thereupon, Daisy reveals the concept of parallel worlds to Eiji and then Genai tries to convince Eiji to lend them his powers. However, Eiji is firm in his stance and isn't ready to back off. Eiji then makes her way to Sina, whose eyes have returned to normal. However, she proceeds to stab him with her sword while mentioning to Eiji that he wasn't the one to create the Great Destruction, but rather it was her. Her whole life flashes before her eyes as Sina stabs Eiji with her sword while mentioning once again that she was the one who caused the Great Destruction. Since Eiji is refusing to believe this, Genai proceeds to use his order to make Eiji remember what happened 10 years ago, and about Sina's wish. Sina wished for a world where her father, mother, and Eiji all lived together with the entire world under their dominance. The wish was very innocent, however it gave birth to a great power, and unfortunately, Sina was not able to control such overwhelming power, and thus the great destruction occurred. Daisy then turns to Eiji and asks him as to what he wishes for, and Eiji wishes to take all the blame for Sina and steals her power while taking her memories and rewriting them to distance her from the truth, which eventually leads Sina to even forget about her father's appearance. And this is why Sina is now determined to repay for her sins by creating a world where every human will have what they wish for. Sina cuts off Eiji's arms, gives him a kiss, and leaves him to die as she moves forward to create the new world. Eiji falls down from the bridge and into the water, and as he is drowning, Daisy arrives and asks for Eiji to make full use of his last remaining chance. After a while, Rin helps save Eiji and moreover stabs herself in the eye to remove Hattori's domination, and soon starts crying over Eiji, asking him to come back to her. Eiji soon opens her eyes and mentions that Sina rejected him. However, Rin makes him realize that there is still a chance to save Sina as Eiji and Rin proceed to make a domination and perform a wish to make Sina happy. Meanwhile, Frank arrives and seizes Mary, Nahara, and Aihido during a time stop. Just as Eiji and Rin make their entrance, a fierce battle ensues, culminating in the defeat of the formidable Juyubei. Eiji then faces off against Genai in a high-stakes clash of willpower. In a gripping turn of events, Eiji gains the upper hand, delivering a decisive punch to Genai. Aihido follows up with a fatal shot at Frank, leading to his demise. Meanwhile, Hiraga's bullet hurtles towards Frank, but Genai sacrifices himself by leaping in its path, plummeting off the bridge. As the ominous will from the mental world materializes, bringing destruction in its wake, Eiji finds himself at a loss on how to stop it. Eiji, in a genius move, asks Daisy to reset his powers, and voila, he discovers he can now shape the world with his desires. Instantly, he uses this newfound strength to create a utopia of boundless happiness for his sister, Sina. Miraculously, the destructive force of the mental world dissipates, restoring normalcy. In the aftermath, Eiji eagerly awaits Sina on her 14th birthday, although he realizes he hasn't prepared any gifts. As he searches his pockets, he discovers Sina's necklace, sparking a poignant reflection. That concludes this useless recap. As always, if you enjoyed, let me know down below and make sure you are subscribed. I'm out.